Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I have got some predictions for 2023. They're not my predictions. I do not do that. But there's other people that are way smarter than me that do. And here's like a compilation of 500 different ones. It says, we analyzed 500 plus articles, reports, podcasts, and interviews to create this big picture of what the experts say we can look forward to in 2023. Now, this is off the Zero Hedge. I'll link the story in the description below. But this is, it's interesting to say the least. The first one is regulators will clamp down on TikTok and other tech companies. I did a story on TikTok. It did very little. The algorithms just didn't push it out for some reason. But just know it is a data mining project for China. Anything that goes to TikTok by law in China has to go straight to the CCP, the Chinese government. And we get a different version of TikTok. The children in China, the people in China get a wholesome version that rewards, how good they did in Taekwondo or their science that they're coming up with, and really educational type. And my opinion is we kind of get junk here. If you've ever been on TikTok, it hits every dopamine receptor you got, and it doesn't take long, and you're just looking at it mindlessly. And I took it completely off my phone, but do what you want to. That's what these people say. Energy will remain expensive. A little more about that later. Broad equity indices will rise, but a rising tide won't lift all boats. Google's stranglehold on search will loosen. And that is to be expected with all this open AI, chat GPC, whatever it is. This kind of stuff is going to, give Google a fight, I think, as well. European unity will be tested as individual economies face headwinds. Value will trump hypergrowth. Now, doesn't that sound bullish for gold and silver and copper and uranium and all that other stuff that we need? China will maintain its aggressive stance, but no Taiwan invasion. China's economy will bounce back after reopening. The U.S. dollar surge has come to an end. We'll see. A strong dollar is going to come down. The outlook is positive for emerging markets and their countries, especially commodities exporters. I'd have to agree with that one for sure. Bonds are back, baby. Global recession risk is high, but the U.S. may narrowly avoid it. Well, we kind of are in a recession a little bit. It's kind of hidden, but we'll see. Maybe it won't get any worse, and we'll get better. And we'll never experience anything else but prosperity from now on. The Russia-Ukraine war will not end in 2023. And if you guys don't know me, I don't talk about the war because the first casualty of war is the truth, and I am simply not over there, and I have no idea what's going on. And I don't think any of us do, unless you've been there. I tell you what, if you know something for sure, and you've been there and seen it with your own eyes, put it in the comments. The crypto winter will continue. Work culture will continue to bend towards flexibility. More people working from home, more technology. You've got the metaverse where people are going to interact with these VR and goggles they put on, and they can be in the same office together. I don't know. I don't get it completely. But it looks like a lot of that's going to go on. Tension will grow between citizens and governments, particularly in authoritarian countries. First thing that came to mind to me was Canada. I don't know why. Shouldn't have, but it did. Education will face disruption from various angles. Real global GDP growth will be in the 1.5% to 2% range, with high variance between nations. Interest rates will peak in 2023. India will have a strong year. All eyes on India. India is they've got the closest thing to a free market capitalism structure that any of us have. They are what the U.S. used to be, from what I understand. India's thriving, and they are opening up they just opened up a bullion exchange over there, and they encourage their people to hold precious metals, and from what I understand, Indian women love it. That's how they hold wealth. So watch them. Inflation will begin to cool off, but will remain well above target levels. So inflation does this, comes down a little bit, and then stays flat. That's kind of what we've all been saying. More big retail brands will launch recycling programs. I noticed this at CES, one of the very first talks I went into. I believe it was Samsung. It doesn't matter. But they were asking for you to send in your buzzer, your trimmer, your beard trimmer, your old one, and they'll give you some kind of rebate for your new one. So I've already seen it happening at CES. More manufacturing will shift away from China. Now, this one's interesting. Following Elon's Silicon Valley will slash headcount and cost. Now, this is a quote from Michael Batnick. What Elon Musk did at Twitter will work as a blueprint for 2023. And this is a quote from New York Times Hard Fork podcast. It really does feel like there's a kind of awakening happening among bosses in Silicon Valley. So, that sounds likely. Energy will remain expensive. Now, I've already talked about this one, but there's some quotes. One is from Yahoo News and one from Citi Global Wealth Investments. Quote, even as the price of oil pulls back from 2022 highs, energy stocks look poised to charge higher. And the next one was, we need to get through a deeper recession in Europe as it struggles through a winter of energy scarcity and inflation. How dare you? Europe's in a pickle when it comes to energy, which they were relying on Russia. Now, artificial intelligence will pop up everywhere. It already is. That's a big takeaway from CES. And just Google AI, Open AI, and play around with it. And it'll kind of, show you, and you'll get a kind of a grip on what's coming. By spring break, this is from Casey Newton. By spring break, we will have seen controversies related to the use of AI in education around the country, and by year's end, I wouldn't be surprised if OpenAI had been dragged in front of Congress to talk about it. So your students will be able to ask this OpenAI, hey, summarize this book for me and 10 steps, and it'll boop, and they can take that and apply it in their homework. I mean, it's really taken over, and we're not far from it creating itself. This is from Azim Azar. Language and image-based AI tools are also making their way into products very quickly, which in turn will help corporate adoption. Firms won't want to be left behind. More people are going to be jumping on this AI stuff, and there's nothing really out there that scares me. Well, not scares me, but that we need to be aware of. Technology and AI and all this strange authoritarianism coming together at the same time. So, guys, I really don't want this to be a doom and gloom thing. I want this to be positive, but there's some things that we really need to keep our eye on, and we need to watch this stuff like a hawk. And that's it for today, guys. Happy MLK Day. Have an awesome, awesome MLK Day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.